Yep. Calling the zoning hearing board for August 6, 2024 to order for the Township of Lower Makefield. Unfortunately, the roll call here right now is, as you see in front of you, 2 members. We do not have anybody online. To have quorum legally, we need 3 in attendance. So we're going to be effectively continuing all of these appeals to the next meeting, which is September 3rd, unless my counsel here has something else to add. Go ahead, Adam.
Seeing if we can get, I don't know if we ever heard back from James Brand, so I'm just seeing if we can get him and just trying to see if we have.
All right, so we're going to wait a couple more minutes, but that's what the situation looks like right now. So,
In the meantime, do you want to, did you call order yet? You did, right? You want to do the continuances now?
we still,
Yeah, still need.
We still need quorum.
Still need a quorum
Yeah.
for all of that.
it's a different decision. It's a decision to make it as opposed to it just got pushed. Okay. We're back on here, and we still do not have a third member of the board. In fact, we pretty much confirmed that everybody but one potential person can attend, and he has not responded. So we are going to proceed here. Adam is going to go through what's going to happen now.
Yeah, we'll basically have it all, oh, sorry, didn't have the mic on. It's essentially like an administrative continuance to our next meeting. The good news is 2 of the agenda items wanted continuances anyway, which is Z24-13. They wanted to go to October 1st, so we can formally vote on that at the next meeting. And MRG Stony Hill, which is Z24-3, wanted to go to September 3rd. The Z24-15, the CREBS matter, that one we already started last meeting. And that one, as well as the Z24-17, which has not started yet. So that one will have to get, will get moved as well. Dan, when did the Z24-17, when was that submitted?
1 second, sorry. June 23rd.
Okay, is that who you guys, okay. We don't normally have a meeting, we're trying to have one meeting a month instead of 2, just so we don't come here just for one. Technically, under the municipalities planning code, you have to have a hearing within 60 days of an application. You're able to waive that, but if you want to stick to that, we would have to make a meeting for August 20th. Otherwise, you'd be on the agenda for September 3rd. So really up to you guys as far as what you would want to do.
Can we get any feedback on how it looks until waiting until then? No.
You can, I mean, you can, not from the board, you can speak with Dan and Jim at the township
Okay.
and get feedback, but from the board, no, because the board cannot. Oh. See? I said to Peter, our chair, Matt's coming on at 7:47, and it is 7:47, so
All right.
there you go.
Good stuff.
We're gonna go back to the beginning.
Yep, all right.
Oh, it's not working very well.
Well, you're on, and we can all stop our card game here now.
Card game going on. Sorry about that, guys. I have a network difficulties.
All right, we now have quorum for the zoning hearing board on August 6, 2024. And so now we will go through this formally and correctly, or formally then. First up is Appeal Z24-13. They've requested a continuance to October 1st.
I'll make a motion to continue appeal Z24-13 to October 1st, 2024.
Any discussion?
Nope.
Anybody online about that appeal? Okay. So, all those in favor of continuing Appeal Z24-13 to October 1st?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next up is Appeal Z24-15, which was continued from July 16th.
I'd say we can go out a little bit out of order because we have another continuance
Okay,
that's
can-
listed last, and we could just get that out of the way.
All right. So Appeal Z24-3 is asked for a continuance to September 3rd.
I'll make a motion.
I'll make a motion to continue.
Go ahead, Matt.
I'll make a motion to continue to September 3rd.
Okay, anybody have any comments or questions on this one? All right, all those in favor of continuing?
Matt second, or I mean Jim
Aye.
seconded. Yeah.
Aye, okay. Appeal Z24-3 is continued to September 3rd. Next up is Appeal Z24-15, And as you come back up to get sworn in again and go through that, there are some additional exhibits this time, so.
So there were 5 additional site photos. First one's an aerial, and the other 4 looks like shots from the yard. Those will all be collectively marked as A4. We also had a packet, it's I think about 37 pages from the Reedman family, and that will be the letter as well as the articles that were submitted will be collectively marked as Reedman 1.
Could you state and spell your full name, please?
Bethany Krebs, Bethany, and then Krebs, Crebs.
Is there another witness online?
My husband.
Hello, yes, this is Nicholas Krebs. I'm Bethany's husband.
Would you spell your first name, please?
Yep, Nicholas.
Do you both solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give you with the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
I do.
Do I?
So make sure your microphone's on.
Yes, I believe it's on. Yes.
Okay, there we go. You're close enough now. All right, so briefly go through your discussion again, and then the new information you're presenting here.
So unfortunately, we were unsuccessful in having a conversation with the Reedmans, although we reached out. So if I may make some remarks regarding their concerns previously, in closing, the chickens were requesting a conservative amount. 8% of American households have backyard chickens, without talking about farms. We have a fully enclosed backyard, 6-foot fence. I just attached some images for visual support. And the chickens would be enclosed in a coop that would be encased in a chicken run and would be chaperoned outside to make sure that they wouldn't be invasive to anyone's property. Trying to think. Just going off of precedent of chickens were previously in the neighborhood a couple doors down, and I know that doesn't share a property line with the Reedmans, but they had, I think, 4 times the amount of chickens I'm requesting and didn't have enclosures. So just going off of their concerns, and I'm sorry to take up your time replaying this and not having a conversation offline.
Well, this needs to be online because this is a public meeting, so that's the reason.
The continuance where we were
Okay,
wanting to have a dialogue with the neighbor.
okay. Okay, questions from the board?
So help me understand why you were unable to have the conversation. Is it the Reedsmans just refused to have a dialogue?
Yes, no response. And prior to the last meeting, I reached out and no response. But then I took their silence for indifference, and from last meeting, they don't sound on board. So wanted to have a conversation regarding their concerns, and they didn't reply.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
Matt,
Hello,
anything?
this is Nick, just calling in from home. Again, Bethany's husband. So I think like the main point I think Bethany was making this is that we want this to obviously work for everybody. We don't want any kind of a situation where any of our neighbors are inconvenienced by the chickens or cause any kind of property damage. So to Bethany's point, our goal with initiating a dialogue with the neighbors would be to kind of understand some of their concerns and then talk about ways that we could allay those. So I think as Bethany mentioned, we'll have a chicken run that's fully closed in. We'll make sure the chickens aren't going into anybody else's property. And we'll make sure that they, respect, if you will, all of our property lines, and make sure that they're not causing any damage to anyone else around us. We weren't super successful in getting that dialogue going, mainly due to lack of response from the neighbors.
Can you refresh my memory? How big is your lot?
It's about 0.9. I think I've seen anywhere from 0.9 to 1.2, depending on where you look.
Okay, so let's call it an acre. And you're looking for how many chickens?
Five,
Two or-
five
two or-
max.
yeah.
But 3 would be the minimum amount that, because they're flock birds, so you want to have
Yep.
a minimum of 3.
And you're just looking for hens?
Yes. I'm sorry. I don't know if you were at last meeting. Yes, for hens for educational purposes for children in that we're locally involved with, and my own children, teaching sustainability, responsibility, and I also forgot to mention that the coop could be placed over 100 feet from their property line, and still be within 50 feet of the other property line, so they would be at a legal placement.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you've raised chickens before?
Yes, I grew up with chickens at my parents' house, so
Okay.
yeah.
I have no further questions.
Okay.
So so it's not going to be 35 feet from the property line now? It's now going to be 50?
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
Okay, so the only variance then is related to
Having
the acreage
chickens. Yeah,
at this point?
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, it looks like we have comment online. So if you could please enter and then state your full name. I guess get sworn in if they're,
Hello,
Hello, would you state and spell your full name, please?
my name is Judith Friedman. Good evening.
Would you spell your full name, please?
Judithreedman.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Absolutely, I swear.
Could you keep your voice up too, please?
Yeah, I'm just trying to. I have a low voice from allergies.
It's tough to hear her.
okay, you need to respond to the court reporter on the swearing in.
She was sworn in. It's hard to hear her.
Okay.
Did you hear me?
Barely. You need to keep your voice up a little bit more, please.
Oh, okay. I will speak louder. Thank you.
Go ahead and state your question or concern.
Well, my concern is that it's unacceptable to me.
I'm sorry, repeat that, please. You're breaking up. It's hard to hear you.
Okay. I don't know why they can't hear. I'm sorry. Why don't you speak, Christine? You talk because it's unacceptable for me under any circumstances to have a chicken coop next door.
No idea what they're
My immune system is compromised. We have
Can you try to move somewhere where you have?
I can hear it. She said her immune system is compromised and she doesn't want chickens next door.
I just said that, exactly.
Yeah.
I have also studied highly the CDC because anything that I like to make an opinion on, being that I've been here 60 years and been president of the Women's Club and several different clubs, politics.
That you're not clear. I have to agree with the court reporter right now. It just broke up again.
Okay.
So slow down. Slow
I
down.
have a good connection.
Try to get away from that background noise because you're picking up background noise. And just try to speak loudly and near the microphone.
Hi, this is Christine Reedman. I don't know if my voice is any clearer.
Your voice is a little clear. Would you state and spell your full name, please?
Okay. Sure. Christine, CHRISTINE, and Reedman, REEDMAN.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to follow up, I guess, and just address first off, Bethany saying that we never responded. When we did respond in a text, we clearly responded what some of our concerns were. So I feel like once again, this is another misrepresentation on their part regarding our feelings about them having the chickens. So, and there's text message that I have as proof that shows that we did respond to
Did
a
you
neighbor.
respond to my messages,
And
Christine?
I responded to whoever your text is coming from. So if it's you or your husband, I don't know who's who. So that's not for me to figure out, but I do have the phone number and the text. And Bethany, further, after last meeting, when you sat there and said that not only did we approve, but we were excited, that was a complete misrepresentation of how we felt. So we are not comfortable speaking just off record. We would prefer to have our conversations with the board. But we did respond to you clearly in a text message. So to just say that we never got back to you is,
Okay,
again, another misrepresentation.
Okay, let's move on to the particular
Okay,
concerns or issues you have with this, or go ahead.
sure. So we are opposed to having farm animals next door. We have great concerns about the neighbor having backyard farm animals. First off, this is a residential neighborhood with minimum acreage. This is not a farm. Having farm animals changes the character of the neighborhood. We have also many serious health concerns. I have health concerns regarding my mother, who's a senior who has lived in this community peacefully for over 60 years and has been involved with many of our neighbors and has never had an issue settling or dealing with any problem here. I also have a young child with very serious health issues. So between the two of them, it becomes a great concern having these chickens and farm animals in the home right next door to us. Further, my mom was trying to talk about all of the research with the CDC, in which the CDC says clearly that it's not recommended to have backyard animals around young children because their immune systems are not fully developed. On top of that, there's issues with immunocompromised people and also seniors. So that pretty much makes up the entire household next door to them, to the property. The CDC goes on to warn about many diseases, zoonotic diseases that chickens carry and are spread in the feces, in the air from the poultry dust. It's spread, in many ways. It gets into the lawn and it gets into the environment where these chickens are. These infections include bird flu, Campylobacter infection, E. coli, histoplasmosis.
Slow down, ma'am. Slow down.
Okay.
She's actually reading her, since, yeah.
So this is information from the CDC's website. So this is,
Ma'am, could you have whoever's with you be quiet so I can hear you?
oh, sure.
Thank you.
What's your name?
So anyway, the chickens are not recommended by the CDC because of the many bacteria and disease that they carry. And with people with immunocompromised conditions, including the people in our household, it becomes a serious problem, a serious health concern, okay? A very serious liability for us and our family that is life-threatening, okay? And we take very seriously. Further, the CDC discusses that the chicken poop and the droppings attract insects, rodents, other wildlife that carry even more diseases. And then there's the issue of biosecurity, which is keeping disease away from animals, other people, and property. And that there's a great concern of, it being spread from the wild animals, this different types of diseases to the backyard chickens, and then the zoonotic diseases can be spread to the people. by the air, by the things in the grass, and so forth. Second, you know, there's a great, another hazard is the respiratory hazard from poultry dust, which if you grew up with chickens, you would know you would have to be, you know, well equipped, wearing respirators and so forth, so you don't develop the lung diseases. Having family with, you know, with farms in the area, we're very aware of all of these things that are all the precautions that are needed to remain safe. Further, poultry carries all kinds of parasites, including poultry lice, tapeworms, roundworms, mites. All of that can infect your lawn. There's flies that are attracted and breed in the chicken poop. Flies often become a huge problem for people with backyard chickens. So they have to take all kinds of precautions. And flies, as you know, they spread even more diseases. You're talking about in the hundreds of diseases. Another problem is rats. I've spoken to a couple people that have been had to deal with neighbors or somebody that they knew getting the backyard chickens, and they said that they had such a bad rat infestation. It became such a problem for them and their neighbor that it's unbearable, and they truly felt sorry for our situation. So again, we have serious health concerns. There's personal health concerns. There's the CDC recommendations, and there's the other diseases that are carried by parasites, flies, rats, and all the other issues that come with the poultry. For those reasons, we are opposed to the farm animals next door. And again, this is a residential neighborhood. It's not a farm. We have minimum acreage here, and having farm animals really changes the character.
Okay, you're repeating yourself here.
Yeah, you made these points a few times, and you made them very well. You made them well.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But as you can see, we are greatly concerned about the health, very concerned about the senior that has lived here peacefully in this neighborhood for over 60 years and has served this community in so many ways.
Okay, you made that point before too, okay?
And also with young children. And as the CD says, it's not even recommended in households with young children.
Okay. Okay. A question for Dan here regarding the other chickens that were permitted in that block before. Were there any complaints before or any issues on the record with the township? I know they were there for a couple of years.
Yeah, not that I'm aware of.
All right.
Yeah.
Just to provide that for background. That's just for background. That's just for background.
I believe you wanted to make a rebuttal comment, Ms. Krebs.
No, I just wanted to clarify that when I said there was enthusiasm, it was from the people who responded to me. I did not mean to misrepresent the Reedmans next door. And with your health concerns, I think I am just leaning on precedent of, a couple doors down if the chickens didn't affect your health, because I want to keep you guys healthy and don't want to harm you for sure. Nick, do you have anything?
Yeah, no, I would add, in nearby townships, I was just looking at Doylestown Township, the actual rule is no more than 5 chickens, and you don't need a variance as long as the property is at least 40,000 square feet, which comes out to 0.9 acres. So there's precedent nearby, not just in this neighborhood, but in other townships in the area, that up to 5 chickens on a lot of our size is clearly no issue.
The light isn't on. I'm assuming there's no other public comment online. Okay, is there any other public comment in the room since, okay. Back to the board then.
Listen, this started off asking for 2 variances. Now we're really down to just 1 variance, which for all intents and purposes is a use variance, right? It's not a dimensional variance. I mean, what would you consider it, Adam?
It's dimensional
It's
in
still a
that.
dimensional variance because of the number of chickens or
Correct,
the
you're
size
not-
of the lot? Because of
Correct,
the size of
you're
the lot.
allowed to have it in a residential
Right.
zone. So just to clear that up, you can have it in a residential
Right,
zone.
so
You
it's
just
a
need to
lot
have
size
5
issue.
acres.
But this is something when we have an next door neighbor and they're so adamantly against it, I'm just going to tell you, I'm not going to grant the variance. I'm only speaking for myself. We have variances in place for a reason. And I understand that different townships have different variances. And there was a chicken coop down the street, and I can promise you that predated this board, so we can't even speak intelligently on it. But yeah, I just I don't have to agree with your neighbors next door, but what I have to do is put myself in their shoes, and they're depending on their zoning board to listen to them and try to understand their needs. And that's what I'm doing, and as a result, I'm not going to be able to get behind this.
So I'm going to elaborate a little bit farther on that. A lot of appeals come to us regarding property use, you know, in order to completely use their property. And we have lots of discussions about how to mitigate or scale back, or it's not appropriate. In this particular case, it's not prohibiting the full use of your property. You still have the full use of your property. It's difficult for me to, as James just said here, to see how this would go forward. And I'll let Matt make his statement, and then we'll make a vote, so, probably. You're muted.
So I'm on the same path as Jim. I've had chickens, I've had pheasants, I've had ducks. The problem is one of your neighbors doesn't, has concerns about their health. So under normal circumstances, I think I'd be perfectly on board with it. It's just, it's very difficult for me to find a reason to allow the dimensional variance.
Okay. Is there any other public comment before we make a motion here? Or do you have anything else you want to add?
No.
Okay.
You could also withdraw and try again.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to
Future.
take a vote, and I think you and your husband did a nice job of presenting your case. And I think all three of us, like Matt said, under ordinary circumstances, this wouldn't have been an issue. But, you know, it is basically what we just described. So, but you did a very nice job. Good. You gave us good exhibits, and a lot of what you said made a lot of sense to all of us up here.
Thank you.
All right, I will make a motion to deny appeal Z 24-15.
I'll second. All those, any discussion? Okay, all those in favor of denying the appeal?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Yep.
Thank you for
Thank you.
being understanding.
Next up is Appeal Z 24-17. You can come forward, sit down, and get sworn in. Adam is going to read the exhibits in right now.
All right, we have the application as A1, the 2 sheets of site plans as A2, 3 sheets of building plans as A3, B1, proof of publication, B2, proof of posting, and B3, notice to the neighbors.
Would you each state and spell your full name, please?
Diane Pallotta, DIANE PALLOTTA.
Michael Pallotta, MICHAEL PALLOTTA.
Do you both solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes. Is this?
Okay, go ahead and present, and I believe that Dan will probably pull up on the screen your exhibits. And make sure you talk into the microphones. It's your turn now. You got to explain what
Okay.
you're looking for.
I'm asking for variance to.
Into the microphone. Or you can hang on to it if you want to. You can pull it out.
Get up and start singing. I'm asking for variance to construct a pole barn in, I guess, the front quarter of the property rather than the fourth, I believe it says.
That's correct. The back
And
quarter of the lot.
also a height not to exceed, I believe I put down 25 feet, but it's not going to be that high.
So
Thank
the
you.
reason we're requesting the variance to be closer to the home is that the back of our property sits on approximately 2 acres of land. Most of it all of it is wooded, except for a small portion up to the house. So in order for us to not have to disturb all the trees all the way back to the quarter acre, we're asking for a variance to bring it up so that we don't have to take all that woods down. But it also backs up, where the pole barn would go in the back quarter, backs up to a cul-de-sac that's behind us. So we figured it would be a little less intrusive side of putting a driveway all the way down, taking down all the trees.
Okay, can you turn the highlight back on, Dan, so you see the property line there effectively? There you
Sorry,
go.
I was trying to get the box to fit, my fault.
So that,
It's actually 3 acres.
it is 3 acres, but that back property, we have a lot of front yard, so I don't know where so that's all wooded back there, and we were trying to avoid taking all those woods down.
Okay.
All right, so the front quarter makes sense, as James just said. I get that, but the height and the fact that it's so close to the property line, which is against the property line where there is that neighborhood. I know you're not immediately backing up to a house, but you are backing towards that neighborhood more. Why so high?
Well, eventually, in the future, I plan on getting a motorhome, and I didn't want to restrict myself as far as height goes, kind of like future planning.
Okay, but if you pull up the building frontage, I don't know how you would fit on a motorhome in what you have for a building.
I'm sorry.
What the building plan that was shown, I don't know how you'd fit a motorhome in it. The garage door is only 10 foot high, so.
Well, that was a rendering. I can't get anyone to give me an actual drawing until I'm under contract with them. And I didn't want to go under contract until I got these steps taken care of. So this is a rendering.
So what would the height on the door be?
The height on the door would be, I think, a 10-foot.
But how are you going to get a motorhome in there?
Well, this is a future thing.
Yeah, you're not going to get them. It doesn't matter. Motorhomes are 12-foot plus.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't,
You're going to need to figure out a taller door than that.
so what's the door you're going to install?
I will. I mean, I understand that. This is like a rendering. It's not a contract.
Okay, so what is your intended height for the door?
The intended height for the door, do they make a 12-foot door?
Oh, yeah, 12, 14,
Well, then
16,
It'll be a
yeah.
12-foot door. No, I don't want to go there.
You just heard the whole neighbor discussion. Have you talked to the neighbors on that side of the cul-de-sac there?
we don't know the neighbors on that. We just moved in February. We don't know any.
You're in luck because she's here.
The line of the year.
Peter, what's the slope on that roof? I can't read it. Is it 612?
The slope, it's not going to be, it's probably going to be a 412.
Okay. And how wide of a building are you looking to do? 24 feet?
How wide, or, I'm sorry, what was,
What is the width? Yeah, you're showing a sketch here. It's got 2 bay doors that realistically you're going to look at something that's 10 by 12 or 9 by 12. And then
On the
you're gonna
site
do a
plan, Matt, on the site plan, it's showing a 40 by 50 foot footprint.
Okay, so
it's 40 wide and it'll be 50 deep.
So just to say again, with having the pole barn, my husband is a woodworker. So the purpose of, besides the RV, would be retirement during the day. He could do a little bit of wood projects in there. He's got a lot of equipment for wood. Not to sell, just a hobby, just something to get him out of the house and hobby.
And to house my classic cars.
One classic car.
Okay, back to a question before.
I know that the property's zoned professional because it was at one time a dental office. We're not looking to start a business or open any kind of sale or retail sale, just so that everybody knows that it's just a residential home.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was concerned about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm only, every time I talk for myself. So clearly, when I was reviewing this at home, I immediately jumped online to look at the aerial photo and to look at some topographical maps just to try to understand why you weren't pushing it back. And as soon as I saw the aerial photo, well, that's common sense, right? That you wouldn't be able to push it to the back quarter of the lot. But then I did see you do have a higher density of homes on the right side where you want to put this pole barn, and you don't have that same condition on the left side of your lot. And then furthermore, I know I'm at a loss right now why this needs to be 25 feet. And you know, I feel like you're spitballing it, which is okay.
I am spitballing it because
Which is okay.
I couldn't get a.
But we're going to need to like definitely get some clarity on like what makes sense for like the highest roof. So like if you did 12 foot, then you're going to have 14 foot high, and then I don't know what kind of run pitch you would have from your roof ridge to the ends, but my 2 engineer buddies probably could speak intelligently on that.
it's 412, it's another 8 feet.
Okay.
Well, that's if you were going the,
No,
we're only center lining 20 feet, so 14 foot. So it would be 20 feet maybe.
it could be, yeah.
Yeah.
So the 2 things that I'm concerned about on this one is the height. That's really probably my biggest, and it's driven by the size. It sounds like, 40 by 50, that's bigger than my house. So that's a big barn you're putting up back there. If you were to get some clarity on what you actually need out there, maybe do some space planning or something like that and see what you can do to shrink that building down. You could also reduce the height on it. I'm perfectly, what you're saying about the, bringing it outside of the rear part of the property makes perfect sense to me. Keeps more trees up, keeps some buffer up, makes everybody happy. I don't have a problem with that. It's the size of this building and the fact that, basically what Jim said is you're spitballing this thing here. So I would think about it a little bit more, get some clarity, and then maybe come back.
So just to with the other side of the home, with the the other side where there really
To,
isn't.
into the mic, and you're saying on the
Sorry,
west
you
side,
got
yes,
it.
yep. Mm.
So there's a koi pond, there's a shed that's already established. We would have to fill in, we'd still have to do work to get back to that. There'd be things we'd be losing that were attractive to us when we bought the home, which
It's
That-
a garden, it's a fence,
Right.
it's another shed, it's a koi pond,
and,
it's a couple pine trees.
and on the right side of the house where we're looking to put it, there's already, when you come down the driveway, there's already an established area of huge blacktop that's already there for, I guess it was the dental parking lot. Like, it's just the.
It makes
perfect-
sense. It makes sense to go
right.
there.
Dan, can you pull up the aerial map again? I want to see,
Sure.
I don't even need necessarily see the aerial map. I just need to see the lots next door on the right, like the parcels.
Yeah, we did talk to the neighbor next door, directly next door to us. But their property stops before the pole barn would start, and then it's 2 acres, I understand, 2 acres of church woods.
I don't know what the,
Well, they
They're-
said they could
they're
run
the
by the
church. I don't know.
church.
So
So
Yeah,
their,
How
their
big it
property is
is.
where the mouse is.
Yeah, you can't go to the legend and pull up the, it should be in the middle of the legend, the property lines. If you go like about middle down. Maybe down further, I could be wrong.
No, so I
thought
think
I had the,
it's kind of hard to see, it's a little faint, but there are like gray lines.
So I see the, yeah, it is faint. I see the subdivision, and how far back would your pole barn be from that
Bring
first
a
house?
microphone.
Did you grab the microphone there and turn it on, or, yeah, if you want to
Yeah, you
talk?
can carry it.
let me get, is this us here?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
you.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, that looks like a car. I think this looks like the driveway right here, the circular driveway that's existing, and
Okay.
the pole barn would be right here.
Well, it's going to go back 50 feet.
exactly, 40 by 50.
That was a shed you just did with your finger.
All right,
You
here.
put a shed there, huh?
Yeah, I believe this is the circular driveway, and my intent was to take it right off the driveway and go back,
Okay.
like right off the driveway.
All right. Yeah, not so intrusive.
And the neighbors you spoke with are the ones, if you're looking at your house from the street to the right?
Directly on the right.
Okay, just wanted
And
that
then-
clear.
And then that church has the
Yeah,
property.
this is the church property right here.
Yeah,
which
that's
is
all church.
This is all wooded.
Yep, that's St. John's.
Yes.
Okay, we were trying to figure that out from over here, who owned that, what that was attached to, because it was Highland. Yeah, I think Matt, do you have any questions you want to add right now before we go to public comment?
No, go ahead. Why don't you go to
Okay.
public comment?
All right.
Good question.
We have public comment, feel free to come.
You have to come up and,
Come
you have
up.
to come up and be sworn
Come
in.
up, be sworn.
No, she can stand at the podium right there.
Huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hi. My name is Elizabeth Schenk, S-C-H-E-N-C-K.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to verify that it was, is it where the trees were already removed?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure, because I am this is the second house on the right, and I really didn't want all those trees coming
Will it be
down.
necessary to take any trees down?
Not at
Not-
this.
Not anymore,
No.
then that's fine.
So does that work out good for you?
Yeah, that's fine.
And you're the
That's-
second house?
We are yeah. Yeah,
Not the one we
Not-
barely
not-
see, the one past that?
it's the next one up.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, we're next to them. So that's good. I'm okay with that.
I mean, all right, great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, is it possible for us to have a vote on this with, contingent
Whether it would
upon,
work.
acceptable height without us knowing, you know, and/or size? I mean, I'm okay with the size, Matt. I know you're not. I'm okay with it. It's a huge lot, and it's really not up against anybody's houses. I'm pretty sure.
So I get that, but to me, the size is dependent, is directly proportional to the height.
Well,
The width
Matt, it
is.
is, I'm sorry. The height that is on here, I gotta be honest with you, I was shooting for, you know, let's shoot for high and then take what's given. But in all honesty, I'm going for a 12-foot sidewall and a 412 pitch. So whatever the height is at that point, I'm sure he's doing the math right now.
Well, if you're going for a 12-foot wall, you're not going to have a 12-foot door.
12-foot sidewall.
No, he's 12-foot
It's,
wall and to a plate, and then he's going to the peak
Okay.
at a 412 up from there.
Right. That would be under 20, that would be just under 20 feet.
Okay.
Is there any other comment? Was that?
There's no public comment online because the light is not on, and there's no other comment in the room.
Okay, just checking, that's all.
Listen, my concern is, I can get my head around, this, but Matt, if you're going to have, if you need to see, like, some kind of plans, you know.
Well, if we want to take a vote on a set height, you know,
Okay.
we could probably get him approved.
Or can you,
That's my feeling on it, so.
can you get behind 40 by 50? Because I'm okay with it.
There's no variance required for that, so
Yeah,
I would
there's-
say one way or the other.
Okay, great.
Yeah, you're right, you're correct, Matt, on that. We're really just looking at the height and location issues here and the set, yep. And the location makes a lot of sense. The height seemed, I think we flattened it out like we just talked about. That resolves, 20 feet's a lot less intrusive than 25, although it still isn't 15, but.
I'd like to make another comment. Miss, you came up and gave public comment. You were the public comment all-star of the year.
She's like, yeah, we're good.
You asked a question, it was answered, you thanked us and sat down. You're literally on the Mount Rushmore of public comment. Any more comments? Pete, you haven't said a whole lot.
I pretty much I did start off with, I understand the front quarter requirements. I was concerned about how it laid out with the neighbors, but I mean, part of that is the height. So lowering the height reduces the visual impact. There's no you have such a large lot, it's not an issue on impervious, it's not an issue on square footage as long as you're meeting all the code requirements with your, building submission. So there isn't, I'm fine with what we just talked about.
Matt, you want to do this or you want me to do it?
Go ahead, you go ahead.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve Appeal Z-2417, wherein the location of the shed will be very close to what's demonstrated on the exhibit presented today, and it's acceptable that it's not on the back quarter of the lot, and furthermore, granting the variance where 15 foot is allowable height, the pole barn not to exceed 20 feet in height. All of this subject to the approval of our township engineer at the time the pole barn is built and installed.
I'll second that.
Okay, any comment, questions?
Thank
No,
you. It's
thank-
perfect.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Do not want to see chickens in there.
No problem with
All
that.
right. Appeal Z-24-17 approved as just noted there. All right. What's up for our September 3rd meeting?
So there's one continuance and 3 new ones. There might be a 4th one. We're just waiting on an updated survey. But as of right now, there's 3 new ones that are scheduled.
Okay, and nothing with an anticipated dramatic discussion requirement.
The MRG one might be the doggy daycare, but,
Doggy daycare? They were in front of us before?
no.
That's
They-
one of the
they-
ones
they-
you continued.
They previously filed one, but it got continued to now.
Yep. Okay, anything else from anybody here?
No.
Enjoy your summer, be safe.
Happy Labor Day.
We'll be here right after Labor Day.
Comes fast.
All right.
So
make
don't
a-
enjoy it too much.
All right, make a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all right, we're done.